What's good, everybody? This is not a bar breakdown. I'm just going to go over the battle right quick and where exactly I think Drake made his biggest mistake and how he actually lost the battle and how Kendrick won. Now, as somebody who had to break down every song, and I still did 616 in LA and the Heart Part 6, those will be coming soon. I'll release the Heart Part 6 tomorrow. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that breakdown. 616 in LA, I'll probably release the day after tomorrow. And yeah, so let's go through the timeline first. Okay, of course, Like That drops. Kendrick Lamar issues the challenge March 22nd. Then J. Cole drops 7-Minute Drill. The first response, April 5th. Apologize, April 7th. Not important. Then Drake gets the battle really started on April 13th with Push-Ups. Then he drops Tailor-Made Freestyle 6 days later, or 5 days later. And this is where I think Drake made his biggest mistake before Kendrick even dropped. Because what Drake did was he set a tone and a timeline, much like he did with Meek Mill, and it won against Meek Mill. But Kendrick reset the timeline when he waited 17 days and dropped on April 30th, Euphoria. He reset the timeline because Euphoria was a strong enough track to combat both Push-Ups and Tailor-Made Freestyle. Now, many people still had Drake up because it was only one record. But then when Kendrick comes and issues a warning, which we didn't know was a warning at the time, and drops 616 in LA on May 3rd, which May 3rd, 2024 will go down as one of the greatest days in hip-hop history, Kendrick met the timeline that Drake set, with releasing 2 records within pretty much the same time span that Drake released his 2 records. Here's the problem. Drake, who was waiting on him, drops Family Matters. Now, he dropped a record that I believe Kendrick had already heard what was in it, because he warned him about what was in it in 616 in LA. And I'm gonna go over that when I drop that lyrics explained, because he doesn't say it directly, he says it indirectly. But then, of course, Kendrick steps all over it with Meet the Grams. Now, Drake, when he released Family Matters, the IG version should have been another song. If he would have made that a complete song, he could have released that on top of Meet the Grams, and that would have helped him. Here's where he messed up, in my eyes. Because when you go over the lyrics and you're going back and forth and the angles and all that, nobody's proven anything yet on either side. Nobody got a chance to really drop any proof. So that really doesn't matter. You can argue the angles all day. Nobody has any solid proof. Yes, Drake's behavior is strange. Yes, Kendrick living in Brooklyn, supposedly away from his family, is strange. But that's not proof. None of that is solid proof. But then when Kendrick drops Not Like Us and further steps on Drake's Family Matters the second day, May 4th, what Drake did was let this affect his ego. Because what he should have done is what Kendrick did after he dropped Push-Ups and Tailor-Made Freestyle and regrouped, because it's obvious he wasn't ready and he didn't have enough records to respond to what Kendrick was doing and saying. He let his ego get in the way and he rushed out a record. The Heart Part 6, the idea was great, and he should have got it closer to whenever Kendrick was going to release his next album. That would have been the move. Or even wait till Kendrick does the Heart Part 6 and make another version of the Heart Part 6, or the 6 God Part. He should have named it something else, right? And you step on him releasing his album with a better record. But his ego couldn't take the heat that Not Like Us was creating all over the internet. But it would have died down because Tailor-Made Freestyle was creating the same kind. It was all over the place. He used Tupac and them boys. Push-Ups. Kendrick for 17 days was getting dogged out all over the internet. They were saying he don't want to battle. Oh, he's not. So, but he took it, and all he was doing was preparing. He wasn't listening to the noise. Drake let the noise get to him. That's where he lost. He lost when he dropped the Heart Part 6. That's where he lost the battle. If he doesn't do that, if he takes his time, if we're still waiting on him to drop, and he's just putting out little, the posts and all this, the little IG posts like he was doing, and then he drops another serious banger record on the level of Family Matters, the results of the battle is still up in the air. You can tell he didn't even look over the Heart Part 6 well because the lyrics don't make sense. And a lot of people have gone through how they don't make sense. And when I do my lyrical breakdown, if I release it, I've already gone over it. There's 3 mistakes in the lyrics. So whether he wrote it or somebody wrote it for him or anything like that, they didn't go over it well. He lost the battle due to momentum and ego, in my opinion. He let his ego get in the way and he rushed out a record because he couldn't take the way Kendrick had stolen all the momentum. Okay, for that 17 days after he released Tailor Made Freestyle, he literally thought Kendrick was scared or just not prepared, when Kendrick was just strategizing, getting ready, tightening up the songs, getting all his angles together. You know, if he drops this kind of song, I'm gonna drop this kind of song. If he drops this kind of song, I'm gonna drop this kind of song. And that's what he did. And I believe Not Like Us being a club banger, which is Drake's advantage in the battle to begin with, he's not gonna outright Kendrick Lamar, and he knows that. But he can craft songs that are more digestible better than Kendrick Lamar can, or as good as Kendrick Lamar can. That's his advantage. Really better. I'm gonna say better. Drake does that probably better than anybody, or his team, or however you want to look at it. Right? They craft very digestible records that appeal to the masses. But when Not Like Us came out, and it's a smash. It's a summer smash hit. He didn't see that coming, and his ego couldn't take Kendrick hopping over in his lane and dominating the battle in that way. Now, as far as what happened yesterday, whether that's, it is a real situation because somebody was injured and wounded by gunfire. But whether that was a stunt, I mean, like I said in many videos ago, this is a high-level battle with a lot of money on the line. And the rumor mill is going to be spinning now because the highest earner lost. And not only did he lose the battle, he lost his position, so to speak. And his position, a lot of people depend on his position as far as Drake goes. And at the end of the Hard Part 6, he tries to slough it off like, oh, this is not a big deal. It was fun or whatever. That's not what's happening amongst the consumers. And that's all that really matters, is the internet and public opinion. That's what the internet is undefeated really means. And with what happened at his home yesterday and the way that it happened, not only does it give them a reason not to get into a battle with anybody else, but it also gives them a reason to say, well, I didn't really lose. It just went too far. Same thing that happened with Pusha T. Now, of course, Kendrick and them didn't have anything to do with it. And The Weeknd, of course, is easiest to blame because he's from Toronto. But we'll see as far as what the evidence shows. But on its face, it looks like a simple retaliation for the shooting that happened at The Weeknd's manager's house on the 29th of April. That's what it looks like on its face. But the timing is kind of impeccable. The timing is a little bit interesting. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But what I will say, as far as all of the fans of hip hop out there, Drake fans, Kendrick fans, and everything in between, don't let this momentum die down. When Kendrick drops his record, appreciate the record. Whoever else drops records this summer, everybody's coming this summer. Appreciate the records. Let's hold the artists accountable, because what we saw in this battle is that when motivated, some really, really great hip hop songs can come out of the situation. And it's up to the fans to hold the artists to that standard. When they drop garbage, say it's garbage and say, look, you gotta give me a Family Matters type song. You gotta give me a Push-Ups type song, a Euphoria type song, a 616 in LA type song. I like that type record. Them singles gotta be bang. But besides that point, man, what Drake has to do now, he's gonna be fine. His career is gonna be fine. But what he's gonna have to do now is what he didn't do in the battle, is sit down and take the loss. Take the loss. Take the loss in public opinion. Right now, the public opinion is not strong in your favor outside of your core fan base. Focus on your core fan base, make some great records, and just come back out and forget, accept the loss. Jay-Z had to do it. He was crying on the radio and he was able to come back. It takes a while. So that's all I got, man. I'm gonna be putting a schedule of my video postings in the community tab, so look out for those. I'm still gonna do 5 a.m. in Toronto because I already started that one. Kendrick Lamar's High Power and the Nostalgia Verse with Pusha T, because I had already started those. When he dropped Euphoria, that messed up everything as far as that, but I'm glad he did it because, again, we got one of the greatest moments in hip-hop history. It's your boy, Professor Lex Beats, Lyrics Explained, and Bar Breakdowns. Thank y'all for checking it out. Like, share, subscribe, and as always,